What's that? All right. Thank you very much for being here this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're enjoying this rare sunny weather here in Cleveland by staying inside all weekend. We all know Shane Lawson, of course, is the author, producer, and journalist in the United Kingdom. He was educated in English at Oxford University, with his first job working for Grenada TV's World in Action program, and then later as a journalist for the BBC. Lawson has written about historical figures including Nicholas II, John F. Kennedy, J. Edgar Hoover, and Richard Nixon. But I think we can all agree that our favorite book of his is Sinatra, The Life, published in 2005. He produced documentary specials on the culture of Vietnam, the Palestinians, drug trafficking, the fate of Russia's last imperial family, and much, much more. Writing about the assassination of JFK, he rejected the findings of the Warren Commission and claimed that Kennedy was killed by a right-wing conspiracy that could have included Johnny Rosselli, Carlos Machello, Santos Trafficante, David Ferry, Jerry Patrick Hemming, Guy Bannister, Sam Giancana, and E. Howard Hunt. Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Lawson.
This is probably where I start my downfall of a storied career. Your programs will say something entirely different about what my title is. That's because we can't put this title in the program. But it is better uses for your basement than a meth lab. Who the hell are we? Fraternal Order of Locksport. We're out of Bloomington, Indiana. We're not nearly as large as Tool, but we're much more attractive. Obviously, we're doing this here at NOTACON. We helped out at DEF CON, ShmooCon, other cons that we happened to be at that somebody was picking a lock. So on with the point of this talk. We're broke. Everybody in here is broke. The economy's broke. Nobody's got any damn money. Well, so is every other artist. That doesn't mean anything. So what I'm going to talk about is my vision and how you can have one, how to find whatever it is you need to make that vision happen, and then make it happen. This is my idea on hacking. You don't have to know shit about it, really anything. You just have to be curious. It's the mindset. I personally hack when I cook. Sometimes I fail. Art, same thing, especially mixing your tech with your art. Security, and whatever else you feel like breaking or building. So, I just made these slides. Shut up. For anybody that's curious, I forgot all of my pictures on my other system at home. So you got an idea. What the hell are you supposed to do with that? Well, you got to have an area. Personally, I have a house, so it's great. Some people don't. You got a closet, floor, doesn't matter, basement, garage. Yeah, who really cares? As long as there's room. And if you don't have room, find somebody that does. Ask if you can borrow some space. I know that my garage is essentially a timeshare. I have people that come in every once in a while. DOSman comes in the middle of the night and uses the bench grinder since it's his. But, whatever. Okay, so I'll talk about some of the tools and not those. And materials, right? So the economic crisis, or whether or not you want to believe it's a crisis, it's kind of whatever. This is where you get all your free stuff from, man. Garage sales, pawn shops. Pawn shops are great for tools, man, especially now because nobody's building a damn thing. Everybody in town had to hawk all their tools to go buy, meth. So we've had businesses close and stuff. They sell all sorts of crazy stuff, man. They're like, yeah, take the shelves, take the toilet. We don't care. Whatever pays our last month rent, we'll take it. And actually, they wanted a fortune for the damn mannequin, so I had to resort to eBay. But yeah, that's what happens when businesses fail. hold on to the things they love most dear. But at that, and then dumpster diving. Jesus, man, you guys know already, some of you do, Bloomington, Indiana, home Indiana University, very large college campus, right? There you go. See, you know where it is. Good job. Indiana, in between Ohio and Illinois. So the semesters end, right? I go out with Dossman and Zach and some other guys, and we're like, because college students are, of course, as you guys know, some of you might have been one at one time or are now, are lazy. So when you need to move, you're not going to take all of that stuff with you. You're just going to throw it outside, and somebody, one of those horrible Carney-esque townies, will come and get it. Well, that's us. We are your trash fairies. We'll come and take it. I think the last cool thing that Dossman got was, what, a carpet cleaner that was half full of cleaning solution. Yeah, have you used it? I got a leaf blower. Yeah, people throw away a lot of stuff that works. They're just like, yeah, we're moving. Screw it. Especially, now we were a little late and it rained, so we didn't really hang out there too much. But there's a dorm where all the masters, the overseas, and like the people from other countries, whatever, you know what I mean. But yeah, foreign exchange students, those guys. All the people that are grad students, where they have like an actual apartments place for their kids and wives and all that stuff to stay to. Man, they get rid of everything because nobody wants to ship all that crap overseas, especially cheap furniture that you probably bought off the guy that was there before anyway. So that's a great place to go get all this stuff. So that's that. So, yeah. My tools, a lot of my tools, most of my tools are from the pawn shop because, and here's the other part about this, if you're doing a project and you only need a tool for a very short amount of time, buy it and then pawn it again. Now, this next one, I don't recommend this because this sucks, breaking down a pallet, man. Especially ones that come out of IU because they have a fetish with fastening devices. But you can go all over the place. You know, we've taken stuff, like I said, from the dorms, the mall stores closing. I think out back behind the Macy's, they just put all their crap out there with a sticker on it that says trash. And there's like shelf stuff that we found. This one that's like this really great 80s looking, like if I was that hairband guy that I was talking about earlier, it'd be a great thing to mount some locks in. But I already make things to mount locks in, so I don't really need to worry about that. Yeah, so really just pay attention. When you're driving around, you see something on the side of the road or where I'm at, people leave crap all over the place. They put a sign on it and figure someone will want to buy this old barrel for something. And again, that's probably me. So prove it. Go look over there to the lockpick village. The lock walls, there's only one of them here in the original picture. That's one of the other ones that I made. That's really was my first project as far as with the Fool stuff. That really didn't get measured. All I did was I didn't have any tools. I had a power drill. That's it. So I made use of Lowe's and their amazingly technically astute employee workforce to cut my wood for me. So I didn't have to measure anything. I just kind of smacked one thing on top of another and drilled holes in it, and then I sanded it, stained it, and rubbed it down with some oil. And there you go. That's what happened with those. And they work really well. The thing that I built those for was because when I was at DEF CON, I looked at all the walls there and said, wow, man, it's going to suck if something here breaks. Is they're going to have to move the whole thing, or they're not going to be able to pull that segment out. It's not the case anymore, I guess. But so the walls over there, you can pull one of the walls out, one of the pieces of it out, or you can change eye bolts out or whatever you need if somebody breaks a lock because, nobody knows what they're doing here. That's why they come over here and ham-fist my locks. Well, not all of them. Not you guys. Just those guys out there. So then there's the mural wheel, or the prayer wheel. I got the idea from the Indian prayer reels, you know, that people go along and they spin them as they're going through the temple. Well, ours is a little bit not like that, but painted a mural on it. It's got a whole bunch of padlocks hanging off. It was really intended for speed competitions. It doesn't spin right now. We're going to fix that later. Yeah, Ark of the Covenant. We'll have some more on that here in a minute. Yeah. The shirts, the flasks, the shot glasses. Yeah, I didn't go find materials in the trash and go recycle myself some shot glasses. But I did make the logo, and I did it with open source tools because I can't afford anything else. So that's what the mural was like when it was done. Down in my basement, I didn't paint one of the rooms on purpose so I could do stupid stuff like this, which means taking a bunch of sewing needles, thumbtacks, screws, whatever I had, and bashing it into the drywall and hanging a piece of fabric up there so I could paint this. If you guys can't tell already, I spent a lot of time in Japan, so I'm kind of influenced by the culture. If you look close, you'll notice that the culture kind of mixes up there on the armband and in the hands because those are lockpicks. Anyway, yeah, my wife loves it. Okay, so the picks that I did. Now, this was going to be like a great reveal of the most awesomest picks ever, and the Sea Otters are really cool, but, you know, this is where the economy kind of nailed me too, so. My prototypes, I made them out of Sawzall blades. You know, I took the bench grinder. You get that from a pawn shop, right? I'm not lying up here. I'd hate to lie in front of you guys. Okay, so I used a French curve. I had like a bunch of old drafting stuff sitting around. I used a French curve when I was doing the tips. All the handles, though, are straight freehand. I just took a Sharpie marker, drew out what I wanted to draw, and took it to the grinder. So I did one as the preliminary one, and then when I got it to where I liked it, I just taped that over one, drew out the pattern again, and then taped a whole bunch of them together so I didn't have to grind out the same pattern over and over again, and they'd all be pretty much exactly right. I don't really measure anything either, so. Excuse me. Yeah, manufacturing them, that's where you get a little bit of cost, but and that's why we're delaying it. But so this is what they look like. It's sort of upside down. If you go like this, it looks like a sea otter, I promise. This is, shut up. So this is when they're roughed out. This one right here in the middle, this one is the one that I used the French curve on. Those two up at the top, I don't know how good the detail is. There's some little scribbles in there for what I wanted to do with that. And then I just kind of started working it down on the grinder, and then I took the Dremel to it a little bit. And as you can see, they're starting to take a little bit more shape. I worked with these designs. Now, it's not really like a perfect functional design on these tips, but I was looking at it to see what would be a good set for a beginner to intermediate group of people that wanted to do something. So, yeah, and don't ever try to freehand a double ball. It sucks. As you can start to see how much it sucks. But so I got a whole bunch of sandpaper from the auto shop, like wet and dry, high grit. And I started to go through a phased approach at sanding all of these down to give them a good polish. And this is kind of like a montage of that. You can see as it's starting to get there, a little bit better, a little bit better, and then you can see me in there. So that's the end of that. Okay, so our current picks, the ones that we were selling now, yeah, we ordered them, and then we threw them in the vibratory sander. And the good thing about a vibratory sander is that you don't have, you could see in the middle of my thumb, there's a nice curve there. It's kind of French curve shaped. There's a really good reason for that. It's because I shoved the pick all the way through my thumb when I was polishing it. It hurt a lot. This is not the only thing that alters my perception. Okay, but doing all of this stuff, and this is all crap I did in the last year. Okay, I didn't do anything before that. I'm a veteran. For about a decade, I was doing anything but having a house of my own where I could spread out and do all this crazy stuff. So, yeah, this is what a decade of pent-up creativity does. It ferments and then it goes bad. But it changed the way I look at stuff. Everything is vulnerable, from people to your belt to, you know, the doors all around here, the elevators. Who cares? It's all vulnerable. You just go at it the wrong way, and you'll probably get the right result that you want. I don't need picks to open something. Spoons, lanyards, ID cards, you know. Yeah, I have my picks on me most of the time, but I don't need it. And that's just sad. You know, these are places that are, look, there's a spoon. That's a spoon. Yes, yes, there is. This door was in the bottom of a restaurant that the owner knew I was doing this, really, promise. Well, the manager knew. Well, if the owner knew, I'd probably be in jail. Anyway, so I go down there and I look. This is like the back door that goes to where they store all the kegs and all the outside cash registers. So like during the summer, if they're taking orders outside, this is how people get in to go get to those cash registers. And I opened it with a freaking spoon. It's really pathetic and sad because, you know, that's a best interchangeable core lock. It's, you know, pickable, but not by your standard person. It's a really nice, sturdy door. It's just mounted like an idiot did it. There's nothing guarding that. They've got it mounted backwards anyway. It's just totally stupid. So I opened it a lot. And I closed it again. But so at work, I wear one of my DEF CON lanyards. So what did you do? Oh, did I do that? I must have done that. Okay, we're going to start on this picture. So I was walking around and I looked at some other stuff and I was like, all right, well, let's see. Here's my lanyard, and oh, surely you'll never find this paperclip in an office setting. And I did that, right? And I looked at this door again. This is a different door. And went, geez, man, this is too easy. It's a I don't know, office stuff. So yeah, it's across the hall from where all those guns were. So anyway, I looked at it and went, okay, well, whatever. Oh, damn. You know, all I did was slide my lanyard through there and yank on the other part of it. You could pull it and the door's open. Oh, wait. Oh, where did it go? Yeah. Okay, so this is another thing that I'm just going to point this out about how I know that everything's really pretty much vulnerable. If you are a facility security person and you're concerned about people getting into your trash, you probably want to at least get the trash bins that fit in the enclosure that you built for it. We have a brand new office. That's a brand new thing, and we have some very large trash bins that sit outside of it. It's just dumb. Okay, so hang on a second, because I don't know where those pictures went. I'm just going to pull these pictures up real quick of the other thing. I hope I pulled them. Yeah, you guys get to see all my stuff up here. Don't put this on the DVD. Whoops, hold on. None of your business. I don't know what it is, actually. Oh, man. I must not have put it on there. Oh, all right. Well, I lied. It's not there. No. Whatever, man. You get over it. Okay, so Deviant Olim's going to come up and talk about some stuff he was doing with equally cheap stuff and equally not meth for just a minute.
Thank you. Yes, definitely. Do you need a flask? All right. Here. Well done, sir. So, yeah, something that I had also experimented with in the past was the idea of how do you take inexpensive picks and make them better, make them cooler, make them do nicer things. For one, how many people have ever seen the deep hook, the long hook that comes with like every Southern kit? Comes with all of ours and, you know, comes in everything. Have you ever used it for anything? I haven't. I've used it to open handcuffs once and you bend it all up. Well, there is a nice hook that especially all of our friends in the European community love. They call it the Gonzo, in honor of his nose, the middle pick on our top side of the tool pick cards, which we have over there. The Gonzo pick, they're fanatical about for good reason. I love them. Once I tried one, I was like, these are fucking sweet. You can actually just take a good 2 millimeters, round it off from a deep hook. That's a Gonzo right there. That's the right size. So that's your like little bit of information. Use something you've never used before. But if you have the rest of that and your other cheap, you know, stamped tools, you can temper them really easily into making nicer, harder steel. All you need is a cup of oil and some kind of torch. If you don't have a big old torch, a little torch lighter, not the like Bic flame hit a bong kind of lighter, but like the like those, you know, the ones they don't let you have on planes. You can use those for this. The idea is all you have to know, and you can Google on you know, anywhere, look for, like, there's color charts for what color steel will glow at different temperatures. You want to target around 1500 degrees, which is kind of a nice deep red. So burn that up, you know, just torch it up nice and even, heat it all across. Don't overcook it. Right as it's a glowing red, not any brighter than that. Quench it right down. When you quench, try to drop it straight vertical. Ease it in so it doesn't crackle and warp. And you'll hear some little, like, fondue-type noises. And before you know it, you'll get a beautifully tempered piece of steel that's a lot harder and stiffer, and it's definitely not as forgiving and bendy as the cheap one that you get initially. Again, that deep red color, sink it in, there you go. You get that nice, that tempered kind of color wrap across the side. You'll know you've done it right. And they turn out really nicely. You can polish them up with Shane's technique, take all that ugliness off the outside. But here's a little video I made. Nice even heating is the key. You don't want to overcook one part of it and temper it too hot. The handle obviously is going to be more of a natural heat sink, so you can focus more of your efforts on the larger portion so it gets all warmed up. Sink it down and just give it a few swirls. Again, here we go. Just cook, 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 burn, burn, burn. This is like in my house too. Daisy was like, what did you film this in the house for? Did you spill hot oil everywhere? I'm like, no, I didn't make a mess, surprisingly. I thought I was going to, so I used the fireplace. If you see the smoke, you know it's right. And then I do some very scientific testing here to show you the nice quality. So you have your tempered steel, and then compare that to a basic, you know, original flimsy steel. I try to take the flimsy steel pick and just kind of hang a padlock on it to show you that it's you know, very bendy. And I try to hold it nice and even, and it just bends all the way down, and the padlock slips off. Ready? Did you all see it? Let's watch it again. It's scientific testing. It's digital calipers, right? So yeah, it can't hold the padlock, but sure enough, our nice tempered steel bit, you hold it flat out. Not the handle. The handle's still kind of springy, but just the tip is now strong enough to hold the crappy Norwegian padlock. There you go. Tempered steel in like 30 seconds for no money and no effort. And yeah, they're nice. I definitely tried out. I have a couple of them. We've already put them to use a lot of ways, you know, at this con, and people seem to like them. They did good things. And yeah, definitely try it out. And thank you. Don't burn your fingers.
Thanks. Good job. You caused 3 people to walk out.
That was my rank odor, not my bad.
So, is this still going? Is this looping? There we go. Okay, so before I start on this, I was going to tell you the pictures that I didn't put on there. I'm going to tell you the story about it. I worked in a really secure facility that had this door with this gigantic picture that's like, don't go here. This is a restricted area. Stay out. There's an X09 on the door. An X09 is a military grade combo lock. Yeah, whatever. They suck. And I'll tell you that my experience with them is they break all the time. So, do you? It's great that you have them when I was looking for them earlier. So anyway, there's this door, right? It's got an X09 on the door. It's got a card reader, and it's got a biometric fingerprint scanner on it. So all of this stuff is up here, and it's inside the server room. It's back behind that, and you got to get in the server room and go over here. Okay, well, the problem with that is that during the daytime, you've got an alarm for if somebody opens it without using real credentials. It has this little beep alarm that, if anybody's ever worked in a facility like that, nobody pays attention to that because so many people hit it, nobody cares. So the other sad part about that gigantic, huge door, locked facility, big secured thing, lots of secret things going on behind the door is that I took my ID card and carded the door, and it opened. So, no, not carding it, I mean, like I shoved the card in the door where, essentially replace spoon with card, and you have the same thing happening on a much more dangerous scale. It's just another case of look around, you don't always have to pick anything. Sometimes you don't need to pick anything, or you can't. So, I'm going to rant for a second because a lot of people have been having these disclosure conversations lately. It doesn't mean keep it secret. If you're being responsible and saying that outing it to the public is serving my ego or something, or any other person's ego that just tells everybody about it, that's crap in my view. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you should only release this vulnerability to these to this specific little club of smart people because we say they're smart and we want to know the knowledge, and we don't want to tell anybody else. So that means keeping it secret, right? Which is stupid. So I don't do that. I do, contact or make an effort and say, hey, I've got this thing I found. I'm going to talk about it. So if you guys want to do something about it, do something about it. But I'm still going to talk about it. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to talk about the Smartkey. This is something else I made this year. I talked about it at ShmooCon. If you were there, here's your repeat session. Start drinking now because you've heard this all before. Grade 1 deadbolts resists a bump attack because I don't know, has anybody bumped one yet? I don't think anybody can. You can hit it hard enough with a hammer that it'll open. But, yeah. I never say anything is bump proof just because, yeah, it's definitely not Buick resistant. It's too bad. These things are rekeyable on demand. They've got some anti-drill bearings in it. It doesn't function like a normal pin tumbler lock. The pins have a little ledge on them. The ledge interfaces with these wafers, and the wafers engage a sidebar. So inside of here, if you look, you can see, hang on just a second. Ah, thank you. I thought we forgot that too. How the hell's this thing? Oh, there's the button. Sweet. Okay, so right here, oh, it doesn't show up on the screen though. Right here, these are these ledges that I was talking about, okay? That's where those wafers sit. There's a little highlighted version for those of you that can't see it. Down there, those are the ledges that the wafers will sit on when you're in the ReKeying mode. that's the wafer. The right-hand side, where that big deep notch is, that's for the sidebar to go into. These are all for the key depths that you would have in a quick set. And they fall onto that ledge. So for the wafer housing, which is the other part of the lock, that's the other side that sandwiches on top of the part that I just showed you. That houses the sidebar as well. That's where the sidebar is right there. That is the sidebar. And it's what allows you to do the ReKeying. So to rekey it, you turn it 90 degrees, you insert the learning tool, you pull the tool out and the key out, put the new key in, turn it back, remove the key, and it is rekeyed. So this is the learning tool. It can be replaced by a thin paper clip. We tested this very scientifically and found that not all paper clips fit. A toothpick, plastic, fingernail, anything that fits in the hole and can push something back all of, a half a centimeter. So when you turn the lock and the tool pushes it in, those wafers come off of the ledge. You pull the key out, it puts the pins back down. You put the new key in, it sets them at the depths that key is cut to, and then you turn it. Oh, don't be walking out. I'm not joking. I'm not the one laughing here. You're getting to the good part here. You are so missing out on the Ark of the Covenant. Oh, and you'd have liked it the most. So, there are some people that are in the know about the Ark. Here's what I did. Here's the stuff I did to make this decoder, okay? A KW1 blank, that's standard quickset blank. A sewing needle. Anti-theft tag, that's the little aluminum things that are in like CDs or DVDs. You rip it apart, there's like 4 or 5 of them in there. They're great for all sorts of stuff. You got a roach clip and some super glue and some JB Quick or JB Weld. What? All right then. So the stuff that I used for this is my Dremel with a cutting wheel on it and a shaping tip. Not at the same time. I don't think you can do that. My vise and some scissors. And there's my prototype. Now, this doesn't really exist anymore because you can see the poor eraser there sucked anyway and it was breaking off. The key doesn't really go all the way in there. The flag doesn't work right. But that's why it's a prototype, huh? So, but what I did, all I did was take the cutting wheel and cut along here. It does take a little bit of skill, but key blanks are all of not really expensive. Whoa. That was on purpose, too. Anyway, so I cut along here, right? This is where I use that little shaping tip to cut a groove. This pin sits inside of here, the sewing needle, and then that flag sits recessed in this groove when you put it into the lock. That little part's cut away right there just so I can get the handle to work. So when you stick it in there, that pennant acts as a feeler. And by shifting the angle, you can, what I mean by shifting the angle, I give it a little nudge the other way, and it just makes just enough space for that pennant to slide by the bottom ledge and actually get into the open area where where you can feel on the wafers that are on the other side of the lock. So once it's free, it'll touch against any free saw teeth, like it says on there. So by counting those teeth, I know the depth that pin is set at. It's a lot like if you stick a playing card or something in a bike spoke, it's the same feel. It's just like a little snapping sensation. So that's the concept of how that works right there. As you can see, that's not a finalized tool there or anything, but you can see that the little aluminum piece is going to feel on those ledges and be able to tell you what the depth is. So you can see the pin or the bearing in there, but the important part. Let me see if I can shoot the way it's supposed to go this time. Yeah. Right here, that's just kind of set up against there for you to see how it works. This is the right here is the pennant, and it would just, as it comes out, it's going to feel against those ledges right there. When I'm putting it at an angle and what I'm getting it past is this ledge right here. That's why you need to shift the angle a little bit, and because you need that little tiny bit of extra space to really feel the ledges effectively. So that's why you just kind of shift the direction and it gives you more room. Whoops, I skipped one. Yeah, there we go. That's highlighted version. There's a great chart that works. So back to the original premise of this, and that's why I included it in this talk. And I can't talk that long about the other stuff. So here we go. $1.50 maybe for the blank if you get like a snazzy NASCAR one or something. Sewing needles, you can't just get one. So you will have to buy a pack of them like me. I have probably about 1 billion sewing needles now from testing all this out. So if you ever need any, just call. I'll mail you one. This stuff, the shims are free. Surely to God, you've got something with a theft tag on it. If not, steal something and you'll have one then. The super glue, epoxy, go to the dollar store if you don't have it, who cares? But, $5, if that. The guys, ask the guys outside this hotel how to make $5. They'll surely tell you for some spare change. So what does that buy you? It works on all the Smart series of locks, because the problem with the Smart series of locks is the actual lock, not all this crap up here, the little biometric sensor down here that doesn't mean anything. They all have the same cylinder design. All that other stuff doesn't mean, like I said, it doesn't make a difference if you can just decode the manual override and override it. I'm getting there. Oh, no, I'm not. I think with a little bit of practice, you can go in there and decode. Probably within about 5 minutes, you could decode it 3 or 4 times. It's really easy. I think I have one here. If anybody's got parts or pieces or whatever, you want to see me make one, bring me some stuff plus a Dremel, because I didn't bring my Dremel with me. Okay. Damn. So the end piece of this, before I take some questions or whatever. What am I doing? How am I on time here? Oh, wow. Been running on at the mouth for a while. Okay. Yeah, I got it. The Ark of the Covenant. We came up with this shit after NOTACON last year. We were driving home, all hungover, and said, hey, what could we do that would just offend the hell out of everybody? And I said, we need to top it. The lock walls were great. Last year we had a huge crowd in the lockpick village. It was like 3 in the morning and people were still there picking locks. I don't know why, but it was great. We had a great turnout. We were really happy with it. So, we chose to do this. And this went through a lot of design iterations. I got to tell you, originally there was going to be, locks on the front that would shock the hell out of you and blow you in the face with a turned upside down can of canned air, and all sorts of crazy stuff was going to happen. And we were almost there, man. I swear to God, next year, don't touch the locks on the front of this thing if we bring it back. But don't tell anybody outside this room. Really. It was also originally going to have plexiglass wrapped around the side edges that would have LEDs in them. We just did not have the time, and I do not have the patience with a router to do those curves. That sucks. So, if you are easily offended, or the age or relative age of one of those mannequins outside that's standing on the table with a handcuff, don't come with me when I unveil this. If you do, don't complain to me about what you can't unsee. I'm not kidding. So, really, that's about it. All this stuff, of course, better than a meth lab. Maybe not as financially lucrative, depending on your marketing strategy, but it's better. And you get to keep your teeth. So, does anybody have any questions? No? Yeah? Yeah, here. Is there another mic, or do I need to repeat questions? Well, yeah, but they won't pick up on the video. Yeah. That means I have to talk more.
Check audio.
Hello? Check.
Complete noob here. You were talking about decoding these smart locks. What, I mean, what exactly are you decoding? I mean...
That means that I can make a key without having the key. I don't have to pick the lock. It means that when I have the actual key code for that, it means I can cut my own key and it'll work fine in the lock.
You just have to know the type of blank to use or whatever?
Yeah.
Huh.
So, okay. Tack another $1.50 on. Sorry, $6.50.
That's $6.50? I can't do that. 5 is fine, but $6.50 is too much. Sorry. It's bull crap.
Pick a different job than thief. Yeah, I know. Anybody else? Oh.
Can you talk more about how you tumbled and polished the picks?
Yeah.
Like hamster dung or something? What was going on there?
Yes. We have a vibratory sander, and this thing is normally used for cleaning brass, like ammo. It's like a rock tumbler, only it vibrates instead of tumbles. So you put media in it and some sort of a gritty substance and some sort of other thing to rub up against it and polish it. And it's great. Well, they sell this like treated corn cob husk, which DOSman swears by, but I totally disagree with him, and all it is hamster bedding, and you can use the same thing. Just go get hamster bedding at the pet store. You get the same results. He says it costs about the same. I think he's embarrassed. He doesn't want to tell me how much it costs. Because we waste enough money on all of our other stupid shit. But how long did it take after we broke it? We broke the sander, so it's JB welded on now, so it won't break again. Yeah, it vibrated apart, and then he left, and then came back, and it was vibrating the wall of the neighbor's house. So that was awesome. But anyway, we let it go for what, about 8 hours?
Yeah, finally I found 5 to 6 hours. Finally I backed down a little bit.
5 or 6 hours. Okay, so 5 or 6 hours in the vibratory sander will give you the polish that you see on the picks out there. The sander itself, I don't know, $50, something like that at Harbor Freight. You could probably find one in a pawn shop, maybe, or go to a gun shop. If you see a gun store that's closing, you'll definitely find one, and it'll probably be much better than our crappy one. But yeah, that's about all I have to say about the polishing. Now, did you want to hear about the other polishing part, or
like of your knob, or what?
That's in a minute. Okay. Put the mic down.
What was the other polishing?
Oh, no, I was asking if you want me to go on about the polishing of the picks that I did. I did wet sanding. It does take a little while to get it done, but I tell you what, it's really well worth it to go out and wet sand those picks down with something that's, you step it up between 1,000 and 2,000 grit. Makes a huge difference on the picks. I've done it with mine. If anybody wants to check out mine and compare them, stuff like that, I've done some of that. I powder coated some of my handles, just kind of played around. So, yes.
Have you yet to receive a response from Kwikset regarding
No.
your disclosure? When did you
No,
disclose
did
to
you?
them?
Yeah, so, okay. No. Thanks. You'll make me look like a big liar, but okay. The guy down in front said he was going to contact his contact, and nobody contacted anybody. So, any other questions? Yes. Hang on just a second. Wait. No.
When is the arc being revealed?
As soon as I'm done with this. There's a break after this, so I encourage everybody to come out and check this masterpiece out. It's fantastic. Where'd the mic go? Pass that over here, please. Down the corner.
Hi.
Hi.
Just, is there a functional purpose to the otter shape, or is it just pretty?
Actually, yeah, there's a very functional part to it. The reason I did it for beginner to intermediate, you'll watch everybody out there picking, and they'll be picking for hours and hours and hours, and the standard handles will cut into your hand. It's not comfortable. After 4 hours of fighting with a lock that just doesn't want to open and your hands are bleeding, it doesn't work out very well. So a lot of what I did was I held it a whole bunch of different ways. These are 6 inches long, so they're longer than the standard picks are, so you could put it in the palm of your hand and balance against that. You can hold it upside down or the other way. It's got enough curve to it that you can find a comfortable position pretty much everywhere unless you're Skylar, who just didn't want to be comfortable. But pretty much everybody else that I've tested these with or asked them to hold them and check them out, it's made for comfort. Anyone else?
Would you still say the Kwikset Smartkey is the best, or the best non-high security lock out there?
I'm not endorsing a damn thing, dude.
What lock would you buy under $40 if you were securing something?
You know what I would do? I would buy a box of ammo and sit it in the window.
How well does that go when you're not at home?
I think that's money well spent. Or you could just go get the box and sit the box in the window with no ammo in it. Yeah, go to the range, whatever, throw a bunch of brass around in your yard. Put a dead cat in the front. Just say, yeah, try it. So, yeah. I don't have a recommendation on cheap locks. It's $40. I don't know. Buy something else. Buy something that makes dog noises or just nails. I don't know. I have crappy locks on my house, but there's no crime. Not where I'm at.
Where do you live?
What?
Where do you live?
I live right next door to Dossman. There's a Hello Kitty on my door. Just make sure that you break in there. There's 2 doors, too. There's one in the front and the back. Both are plenty easy. So, anything else? Anybody else? No? Okay, well, thanks a lot. And I'll tell you guys, like I said, come outside. I'm about to reveal this kick-ass Ark of the Covenant. And hey, it's a contest. It's not just like something pretty to lick. It's not just something pretty, okay? So seriously, it's definitely a contest. Get involved. Figure it out. There's prizes. So thanks.